Now, Dave, the last time we spoke on this particular subject, when let me get rid of the QR code because the QR code is for the beginning. We can get rid of you now, like Tony Stark. You can rest now. You can
Mm.
go. There you go. Where are we at? Where are we at? It is right here. Hi. Thank you. The last time we had a conversation involving Marvel, you said a comment to me that stood out in my head, and it's something that I've had in there ever since. But
Fuck this.
no, well, aside from the fuck this, the one of the reasons that you had explained to me that you'd fallen off the whole goddamn thing is because the homework just became too much. It
Can't
just
keep up, dude. It went too fast.
it was just you can't see this show until you've seen this movie or this show, and then you have to crisscross with this, and then oh, but wait, you didn't see What If. See, this character is in What If for like 15
Yeah.
seconds. It became a bit much. So out of respect, considering they really haven't done a whole lot anyway, anything really worth all that discussing. They in between our last conversation, they did another What If. You don't really care. They did Zombies. You don't really care. They did Eyes of Wakanda. You really don't care.
Is it all relevant?
Eyes of Wakanda, no. What If? Maybe that depends because the first season of What If kind of mattered. So we'll see if they pull any shit out from the second. And the Zombies, no. So not a lot of it really all that matters. But the reason why I'm bringing it back up now is because this is the moment that all of the haters have been waiting for. They just wanted to get to this. All the other bullshit shows and movies were all character development, was all build up for characters that some of them didn't even give a shit about. I don't care. I just want to see all of them get together and smash some shit up. So, in the last couple of weeks, Marvel has finally given us our taste. They've given us 4 teasers. Now, they're saying that they're not actually teasers. They're saying that it's 4 components to a very intricate story. If you guys can look at the shots and look at the teasers and try to find the Easter eggs, it's all telling you all these different. I don't give a shit about all that. We're not getting into all that. That's for another podcast to decipher. I just want to talk about the obvious things from the clips. Like, for instance, to start off, the first teaser. The
Everyone has kids now.
the return of Steve Rogers. Well, you know what? Not for nothing, Dave. It's a law of averages. There's only but so many times that man can shoot the club up before one of them catches hook. You know what I'm saying? One of them's gonna get to the A. He's got super soldier serum in Steven.
Fair enough.
Say that 4 times fast. But yes, he's back. And right off bat, and I think this was obviously part of the marketing plan because as far as these teachers go, this was the one that they probably knew would get the people talking the absolute most. This is the one that has kind of split people down the middle because there are those who look at this and go, "Oh my god, cash grab." Right? Of course, nothing's going right. They got to get the guy that helped make this go right the first time around. Then there's the other side of things where people are saying, we have a Captain America already. You gave the shield up. We love our new Cap. We don't want to go back to the old Cap, but the old Cap was objectively a little better than our current Cap. I don't know what to do. So there's so many discussions now about Steve Rogers and his return. The baby notwithstanding, because we know that the baby's going to play some sort of role in this. They wouldn't have shown us the baby if not. Your initial thoughts to seeing Steve Rogers come back in that first teaser? Were you surprised by it? Were you kind of like disgusted by it? What were your thoughts when you saw Steve?
I, I mean, my problem is I want to ask questions as a whole. So do
Okay,
you want to go through the rest of them? Because I don't want to go. Like, I have a question about the entire thing, which just doesn't really.
okay.
Yeah.
So you want to ask now, or you want
Yeah.
to wait?
Well, I can ask, and I didn't want to spoil if you want to go through the rest of them.
Let me just
Well,
okay. So let's
yeah,
do that.
I don't want to jump all over the place. I'd rather get the
Okay,
information
so
out
we'll get
first.
the overall. Okay, so I'll come back to the Steve thing. Our second teaser that was released was Thor. Now Thor looks to be in a forest kind of wildernessy area, and he's got Stormbreaker with him, which is a little different than the last time we saw him. Because the last time we saw him, he had Mjolnir again, and he had given love to Stormbreaker. So now that he's got the Stormbreaker and he's practically begging for his life to be spared in this moment so that he can continue his fight and return home, it kind of gives the indication that something is wrong with Love. So we'll find out more about that, and obviously in the major film. But it's basically the second teaser is just him making a plea to Odin to continue his life just a few minutes more so that he can win whatever fight he's engaged in at the moment. The third teaser that was released was why am I blinking now all of a sudden? X-Men, right.
Xavier.
It was the X-Men clip. It's Charles Xavier, it's Magneto, the original.
Bars, by the way. His spiel was kind of went hard. I'm not gonna hold you. It was good. He got me just he for a second there. He made me go, I might watch one of these movies. No, it was pretty good. His spiel was good.
I'm still to this day uncomfortable between the physical relationship between these two actors. They make me feel very uncomfortable. There's some clammy sandwiches being had between these two individuals, but they're both back in their original roles, Magneto and Professor X. Patrick Stewart, who plays Professor X in this movie, has stated that his career is over. This will be the last time that he performs as an actor. He is ending his movie career with Doomsday. He's going to go out with a bang. He's John Elway. He's going to go out with a ring. And then off into the sunset, which I'm assuming his retirement may last a week or two. I don't know how much longer, without work pushing him. I don't know how much longer he's got to go. But they're going to be ending their careers with this movie, and they do, like you said, they do this nice dialogue between the two of them, and it ends with Cyclops in his blue and gold outfit from the comic, tearing off the visor, letting whoever he's shooting at have it. If you are a true time-tested comic book fan, you know that the ripping off of the visor is significant. It's a significant move. He doesn't do it often.
It's his last resort usually. It says I have nothing. I need to give 100% right now, or we're fucked.
Unadulterated. Yeah. And I always laughed, even when I was a kid reading the comic. I always laughed because the beams come out of his eyes. So in order for him to really execute the move, he's got to he just opens his eyes, which seems normal at first. But if you think about the aggression I always laugh at this, the aggression of ripping off the mask and then getting a beam of that size just means that he's going like he's just going for it. And I don't know if he gets more beam, if he like push, like, can you push more beam?
I would imagine, because even in the fighting games he had there were different sizes of his beam. So true. I could imagine the wider his eyes, the bigger.
The visor always kept it very neat and very concentrated.
Oh yeah, it blocks it in like this.
Yeah. And then when you take the mask off, it's just raw beam. He's just raw dogging motherfuckers. So that's a very significant shot. Not just that, but I mean, if they would have showed him in just the goddamn suit alone, the fucking internet would have jizzed his pants. But to remove the mask and just go all out, and you can visibly see in the background Sentinels and them being in the MCU right now is just absolutely fucking crazy to even think about. And then, of course, our fourth teaser, we're back in Wakanda. It showcases Shuri, who is in the Black Panther outfit, and M'Baku introducing himself as King M'Baku of Wakanda. And they tease this walk up, and he introduces himself to someone, and when the camera turns, it's Ben Grimm. Of all the places of the Fantastic Four to crash land on this planet, Wakanda has to be the most comical place for the whitest family on Earth to crash land. From the whitest family on Earth from the goddamn 60s to crash land into Wakanda. They must have been so confusing when they didn't find any white-only water fountains, and they were just like, are we supposed to eat like with them? Oh man, this it's all over the map. So we're gonna be seeing, this is just a taste of all of that. This particular teaser, the fourth one, is just a taste of what we're all already assuming is going to be just a cluster of different personalities and different characters meshing in scenes you just didn't think was possible. Like so well, before I get into what comes after, now that we've talked about the 4 teasers, what is the question you had about the actual teasers?
So why Cap and Thor? So obviously I'm disconnected from this, but from my last understanding, they were done. I assumed the same thing about Tony Stark, but then when I heard about that Doomsday, my whole question there, or Doctor Doom rather, my whole question there was
Right.
how is he just playing Doctor Doom as a completely separate character, or are they going to find a way to mash it together? Now, there's a guy that works at my job who is absolutely obsessed with this shit. So he kind of explained a little bit. Thankfully, he was gracious to my ears and gave me like really quick.
He was trying to put you on game. He was trying to put you on
He
gun.
I think he picked up real quick that I did not know a lot about what's going on, so he didn't waste his
the fact
breath.
that you saw the teaser and didn't ejaculate, he went, something's wrong with you. You're missing something.
But actually, this was before I watched this. I had they were talking about it, and I asked them like, "What's going on with Doctor Doom?" Just randomly asked him about Tony Stark, and he said something about when he passed, like it had something to do with all the times, and then one of them stopped him from like being able to complete. I'm not remembering correctly, but like something in the timeline because of Captain America did something, I guess, to go see his kid. It stopped Tony Stark from something happening, and now he's Doctor Doom trying to go back to change that. So something like some shit like that, right? So, but the answer is, and obviously you can clear it up, but the answer that I got was,
I got you.
It is Tony Stark. It's as Doctor Doom. It's not like a separate character. He's just playing someone different. So that's how they tied that in, and you can obviously make that more sense. But so that's one person I thought was done with this. So now he's back. Now I'm hearing these two are back. So my question is, why? Do you think this was the plan all along? They were just kind of playing it as an ace in their back pocket or something that they could do when they said that they were done and they knew they were eventually going to come back? Or did they make a phone call and go, hey, we need to make a pivot here. Some things aren't turning out the way that we want. This is how we want to drive the story. We need you three back for this. Is it an answer to failure, actually, is what I'm trying to get to?
Which is a lot of speculation. There's a lot of people saying, well, it didn't work out, so now they're going back to the people that did make it work. Okay, so my answer to all of those questions, and I'll get to them all in a row, but an over-encompassing answer is we're not entirely sure, because as per the usual, they've been keeping everything, and I'm going to turn this on because my balls are sweaty. Oh, it's not plugged in. That's fun. Okay, this will be a fun show. The overall encompassing answer to that is we're not sure, because they keep everything obviously very, very close to the vest. What we've seen as far, I'm going to answer that last one first, in the sense of, was it a response to failure, or was it always the plan? Because I have a deep-rooted belief that it was part of a tentative plan. And what I mean by that is that the minute Endgame ended, there were already talks from people involved of Endgame that they were all leaving, but wouldn't mind coming back for Secret Wars. That was discussed on the red carpet. The Russo brothers were very quick to say, hey, we've had our fun. We did as good a job as we thought we could do. We're going to be doing some other things. But we'd love to, if we ever got the call for Secret Wars, which, by the way, that comment was made before it was announced they were even doing a Secret Wars. They said, the only reason we feel like we would ever come back is if they did Secret Wars. And Hugh Jackman, who plays Wolverine from a different company, again, when he retired, when Hugh Jackman was like, okay, I'm done being Wolverine, I've been doing this for 10 years. It's over. It's a wrap. I don't see myself ever doing this character again. And then he had brought up, unless they needed a Wolverine for Secret Wars, But then, other than that, so there
Yeah,
was
see, to me, that's too that I don't believe in coincidences like that. To me, that's
no,
like this
there's
was all a plan.
and there's a third, the third piece of evidence of people already thinking of Secret Wars around the Endgame time, and people forget this, but it was Chris Evans who was the one who said, because they asked him, just the current MCU right now is all about time and variance and all this different stuff. Would you ever see yourself coming back? And he always gave the same padded answer. I love the way the story ended. I love the ending for Cap. I love the way that with the dance and all that stuff. It's such a great ending. I would hate to ruin it and blah 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 blah. And then every now and then he would slip and he would say, "Well, anything can happen with variance," which has been the docile way of people getting out of it. All of the actors from the MCU throughout the course of the last few years since Endgame have always relied on the whole, variance, right? However that works. The MCU has solidified since Endgame. And that's one of the reasons I feel like they got so much hate. That fourth phase, they blew that wide the fuck open. That there's so many possibilities and there's so many doorways that it could go. To go back to your Robert Downey Jr. question, is it Tony Stark? Is it Victor Von Doom? And the funny about it is the answer is still the same. We don't know, because there's a Tony Stark in 616, but there's also a variant, and this is long before the movies. There is a variant of a Tony Stark that became Doctor Doom. There is a Tony Stark variant that knew Victor Von Doom, and this is a different alternate timeline where something had happened between the two of them and the roles had reversed. That Tony became Doom, and Victor became the Iron Man, and the two looked very different as their characters. But there is a Tony Stark variant that is Doom. But then the Russo brothers went public stating, nah, he's Victor Von Doom. So the other option on the table is that this is a quote unquote Tony Stark like variant that never became Tony Stark, that was adopted by another family and became Victor Von Doom so it could still very well. There's a lot on the table, and one of the
Are they using Robert Downey Jr. as like the way that story is supposed to be told, or are they doing it as an Easter egg, as in a hat tip to this is that, like that switch, but he's not Tony Stark. He is Victor Von, but obviously the actor is the same, so it's like an Easter egg.
Robert Downey Jr.'s hire was specifically made to do exactly what it's been doing ever since, and that's creating conversation. They could very well have hired Robert Downey Jr. for zero reason. He could just be Victor Von Doom playing a literal different character.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
They could very well do that. It would be insane to do that, not because they couldn't pull it off storyline wise. I mean, if you could just suspend your disbelief and just pretend Robert's a talented enough actor to do it. I personally believe it would be leaving too much on the table. Having an actor of his caliber who got so successful playing the other character, it's almost too tempting to not play with that. Like, for instance, there's a rumor that started when they released the Fantastic Four that was kind of circulating around the internet, that the beginning of Doomsday is Victor Von Doom arriving on this Earth, 616, and being a little, obviously it's culture shock. It's a little confusing because it's a different universe. It's a different dimension. And he's walking around and he's seeing all of these murals to the passing of Tony Stark and what a hero he was and everything he had accomplished. And that there's an idea in Victor's head, oh, he looks just like me. He must be a variant. He's a hero here. Let's play with that. Let's see how far I can get here if they all think that I'm Tony Stark, as opposed to actually being Victor Von Doom and playing a game with that to see how far he can go. There's a million different ways that they can do this. And I think the marketing for Doomsday personally has been absolutely fucking genius because the Russo brothers have discovered something very, very cool about the internet. See, they've spent years, decades actually, we're on now, of trying to keep everything close to the vest and keep everything quiet and try to surprise people. You can't do that anymore. It's almost impossible to do it. Even people within the production companies leak shit. Like it's almost impossible to keep this shit quiet. So what I've noticed, and I'm not the only one that noticed this. I'm not patting myself on the back, but ever out of the blue, ever since trailers and teasers started being filmed and all that stuff, the internet has just been pushed with AI generated videos where it's people putting together AI videos of what they think is going to happen in the trailer and what they think is going to be a scene in the movie. And they just post it. And I don't think it's a coincidence that just before all of these trailers were released, they were all leaked, but they were all leaked amongst all of this shit. It's almost like instead of patching the dam up and keeping the water in, just tear the
rode the wave
dam down and just fucking flood it.
They just steered into it.
They steered into it. They did it so that even if you saw it, you wouldn't know if what you saw was the real thing, because right behind that is like 7 or 8 other videos of them doing other things.
If there is one group that could do it and make it make sense, is this, because it plays literally into an alternate timeline. You know what I mean? It's like it's like fan created alternate
timelines and dimensions. Yes.
Right.
Yes, it's brilliant if you ask me.
It's actually brilliant.
I don't even know if they're doing it on purpose. It just seems like something I would do. Because it's not a coincidence. Because there's no coincidence to me that it did not happen. There was no Marvel AI. I mean, there's the usual fan-made shit that you would see, but we saw an influx out of nowhere, out of the blue, of just Doomsday trailer, Doomsday teaser, and just fan-made. It just kind of happened overnight where it was just like every channel had it. So many, in fact, that the YouTube channels that cover this stuff all the time, Marvel comics, comic book movies, all that stuff, they were having trouble deciphering what's real, what's not. There were people putting out content about the AI content, whether or not it was actual content. It's the weird fucking thing. And then when the trailer dropped, for the most part, it was almost verbatim to some of the videos that were leaked, but everyone questioned it because it's like, is it the real one? Is it not the real one? I don't know. I can't tell. So I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And you opened up with another question. Oh, why Cap? Why Thor?
Yeah.
So okay. So everyone involved kept saying how much they enjoyed the end that Cap had with having that last dance, or that first dance with Peggy at the end with the nice song playing, and that was the end of his story. And Steph will tell you, because I kid you not, I said this in 2019. That can't be the end of his story. It doesn't make sense. It's a nice looking ending, but it didn't make sense based on what they had set up prior to his leaving. It could not have been his end. It didn't make sense. I didn't know how it didn't make sense until Loki. And this is why the homework counts, because Loki's series explained why Cap's ending makes zero fucking sense. Because the end scene for Cap in Endgame is he has all of the stones in a suitcase. The bargain for getting those stones is that each one of those stones belongs to a different timeline. Okay? They needed to return the stones in the exact time that they had taken them in order to keep from those timelines from just being destroyed. So the idea is that Cap took 6 stones in a suitcase in a machine, disappeared, and then never came back, and stayed wherever the fuck he was and stayed with Peggy. That is a impossibility. It does not make sense. It should not have happened. It's a nice ending, so everyone looked past it. But in Loki, they explained it. It's called an incursion. When you do something that it goes against the timeline, something that takes you off course, it splits off a branch from the timeline and it causes problems. It can create an alternate. It can destroy the timeline you just came from. Now, he came from the sacred timeline, so that's going to be tough to destroy, but it can set up a different timeline. He was never meant to be with Peggy. In his timeline, Peggy had passed away. We saw her die in Winter Soldier of old age. His Peggy is dead. There is no other Peggy. So for him to have returned the stones and then stayed in a specific timeline, it doesn't make sense. It causes an incursion. So when people say, well, what about old man Steve? He gave him the shield. That doesn't mean it was that Steve. It just means it was a Steve who came back and gave him the goddamn shield. So the Steve that we're seeing in the teaser very well could be the actual Steve that we know, because he had the suit that he last wore at Endgame. It's the last Captain America suit he ever wore. So we saw that in the teaser. That was for us to be confirmed. Yep, it's your Steve. And he's in a different timeline. He's with Peggy. He has a son. It's a whole ordeal. But for people
they just over there fucking it up. Oh,
yeah,
they fucking everything.
Well, I don't know if they were. I don't know if they knew in that moment they were going to jump on that, because who knows between how many years between the end game and whenever they were going to do the next thing. But I know for a fact they left that open. I felt it the minute I left the movie and just went, that doesn't seem right, because every conversation up until that point says that you're not allowed to do that, and he did it. And everyone just went on with their lives. Well, he had he got what he wanted in the end.
Well, doesn't that make it? We're about to spiral into a whole different thing here, but like, doesn't that kind of make him the bad guy? Because I'm pretty sure he knew that.
Yeah, it kind of does. It was
a fire.
I don't know if it's destroyed a whole timeline fire, but I don't. Like, what was it Eddie Murphy said? He said, hey, $1 million pussy? Ain't no such thing as $1 million pussy. I'd like to meet some pussy like that. I'll put it on layaway. But no, it was a selfish move. It was looked at like a nice ending, but in reality, and one of the other questions that people thought of is that he had 6 stones to return. One of them is the Soul Stone. How did he return the Soul Stone? Because Black Widow.
I think I heard someone talk about this.
Black Widow died.
You have to make a sacrifice.
You have to make a sacrifice, and not to mention when Cap showed up with the Soul Stone, and out of nowhere the Protector showed up, and it's Red Skull. How did that conversation go? It's like, bitch, wasn't you just on the plane with me? Bitch, didn't you try to kill me on the goddamn plane? Now look at me. I'm sitting here in the goddamn planet by myself, all alone, just me and this godforsaken stone that everybody just keeps dying over. And I gotta keep telling them, don't take the stone. It's a soul for. I keep telling people it's a soul for a soul, and they do it anyway. And Cap was just like, you know what? Here, just take the fucking bitch back. I'm not doing this shit with you no more. I'm going home, get some buns. That's it. I'm going home to clap cheeks, my guy. Take this fucking stone so I can get the fuck out of here. Thor's situation is a little different. I don't know, to be honest with you. When last we saw Thor, he was done fighting. He had found love, and he had a literal daughter named Love. And that was it. Who, by the way, is being played by his actual daughter, which is hilarious. And that's the last time that we saw him. I refuse to watch Love and Thunder over again. I did it once. I proved my point. I love Marvel, but I will not be rewatching it again.
That bad, huh?
I will not be rewatching it again. So it is what it is. I did the homework the first time around. I will not be reviewing. I'll let them decide for me what I should and shouldn't know. But the takeaway from that teaser for me with the Thor one is that he's begging for his life. Something has gone so wrong that, remember, I told you his daughter had Stormbreaker. So the fact that he has Stormbreaker and he's begging Odin, I want to go home. I want to be with Love again. I don't want to return as a warrior. I want to return with warmth. And he just wants to be done fighting. Finally, just fucking life. He wants to do something else, which it unfortunately gives me the opinion that he may not be making it out of this situation. which is, in Infinity War, a lot of people died from the snap, but you never really got the sense like, are they dead? Like, is that
Yeah,
this?
almost like an erase, but not death.
Yeah, this
This feels like murder is
this
happening.
this one this one people are they're telling you between Cyclops' reaction, Thor's begging, Steve's pure ignorance, and Shuri's what do you even call that at the end? Just determination. Like she's just got that fight in her eyes. This is huge. Like everyone seems to be on their fucking P's and Q's right now. This is going to be humongous, and everyone keeps saying, "Well, Doom's that kind of character." I still don't believe Doom is the only threat they're going to face. I don't, because even in the comics, Doom is him. Don't get me wrong. Doom is that. He will fuck your life up. Don't get it fucked up. He will fuck you up. But all of these people, I don't know if he does it alone. Battle World as a storyline in Secret Wars, there was a different guy who was in control of it, and he was nasty too. But even he couldn't do it alone. So I don't think he's going to be alone in this. There's too many factors, and you keep mentioning kids. Keep your eyes on these fucking kids, bro. Keep your eyes on these fucking kids. These kids are not. This isn't charged up playing cards and cuttable claws. This is bending reality. This is shifting through time. These kids. These are heavyweights. Franklin, America. These are heavyweights that are coming up the ranks right now. That are going to be fucking some real shit up if they stick to what these kids can actually do. The stuff that the Avengers and the X-Men do it's cute. It's cute. I can't wait for Franklin to sneeze and destroy 2 timelines by accident. And it's just I can't wait to see how this fucking works. And the Fantastic Four coming in, X-Men got their own commercial. This is all hands on deck. This is gonna be crazy. Crazy. But the teasers are up. I'm being told that we're recording this Tuesday the 20th. I'm being told that there's going to be a Spider-Man trailer tomorrow, so I won't make it in time for this episode. But we'll see what Spider-Man has to offer because they're going to be the precursor to. This is the last stop on the road to Doomsday. So let's see what Peter Parker has in store for us. One last ride for the Petester. He's going to show what's up. So that is Marvel's Doomsday's. Wait, did you have any more questions about the stuff that we were?
No, I'm good. I'm
good. All right. So that's the teasers that were released there by Marvel. Of course, when something huge comes up, we'll probably mention again. Won't bring up the Spider-Man thing again. The Spider-Man thing is just a tease into some other stuff. There's supposed to be a huge character reveal in Spider-Man. The redhead Sadie Sink, who played Max in Stranger Things, is going to be in that movie. There was a lot of conversation as to who her character is. The only character on the cast list that is completely redacted. We don't know who she is. They're keeping that one close to the vest. Hulk's going to be in this Spider-Man movie. Punisher is in this Spider-Man movie. We don't know who Sadie's playing, but it's one of 2 people. There's talk that it might, actually one of 3 people. There's talk of it being Silk, which is a new character in Marvel in the little Spider-Verse deal. It could be Peter's daughter, but he looks a little young to be a dad. The rumor is that this is Tobey Maguire's daughter, the elder statesman. And the third one, and I hope it's not, but it very well could be. The third rumor is that it's Hope Summers, daughter of Scott Summers, Cyclops. And the reason why I don't want it to be that is because that takes us down a different path. To have Hope in the MCU starts bringing us a little closer to Phoenix, and I don't want to see that right now in the MCU. I can't do Phoenix again. I can't do it again. Please. There's been so many versions of the goddamn Phoenix. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So let's pray that it's not. But that's what we're leading up to. That's what's going on with the Marvel stuff.